and it comes down to this. People don't always remember what you say, but they always remember how you made them feel.
That's correct.
And so when you talk about creating experiences and then ultimately being able to monetize it, which a lot of organizations are really good at, that relationship makes a ton of sense to me. That seems like a home run. And listen, what a great story from, your early developmental years. The other thing that came up for me while you were talking, I was kind of, smiling a little bit. When my boys were, preteens, we did the same thing. We grabbed a lawnmower and we walked around the neighborhood, and it's like, here you go. I'm going to provide you with the equipment and the gasoline. You now can make some money off of it, but you got to have the courage to go knock on the door, and you got to set a price, and then you got to do the job. And I think with both of them, it gave them this sense of empowerment. For one thing, I'm capable of doing this and I can do this for myself. But the other was just like I'm out and I'm getting exposure in the world where I'm not necessarily comfortable, and something good is happening.
And I think the one thing that I took away from that experience that's really helped me is you start developing a business mindset and you approach your work with that business mindset in the sense of when I'm thinking through, and I've seen this even with other peers and colleagues as we've had discussions, in many cases, they're approaching things as the employer will provide. And for me, it's more of, well, no, how do we provide it so the employee understands that they're enabled to do it? Meaning, we need to find a way in order for us to be able to financially support or enable some of these activities or programs. And I think that opportunity, understanding what it took to actually put together a business, work through it, the sacrifice that's put into some of these. Because I mean, I've had other ventures, and even as a kid, after that car wash, and I was working at the grocery store, I said, "This grocery store thing is not for me." Uh, and started a side hustle, selling T-shirts and printing T-shirts and doing just a bunch of things that, enabled me to have this entrepreneurial approach. Um, but for me, it was I've always pursued my work as I'm not necessarily a true business owner in the sense, but I lead a function and there is financial responsibility to that. And so how do I approach this with an entrepreneur mindset?
Love that. That's actually one of my leadership principles is it doesn't matter what function you lead. You should think and act like you're the CEO.